Hi class. So this week we're looking at research. In looking at research, I'm not going to ask you what research means because I am assuming that by now you've all heard the word research and you're all familiar with what it means. Having said that, where do we start? Um, we start by what's the purpose of research? So research serves a number of purposes. It serves to explain phenomenons. Um, it serves to predict. It serves to project. It serves to plan. It helps to interpret events, and it can simply be used as a data collection tool. So you want to know what what is the impact of global warming on society? Research will help you to answer that question. You want to know what is the impact of the U.S. immigration policies on American citizens, and research will answer that question. So that's some of the ways that we can use research. Now, in terms of the research process, there's 7 steps in the research process. These 7 steps include definition of the problem, a lit review, the formation of a hypothesis, the creation of a research design, collecting your data, analyzing your data, and finally conclusions. So let's take a look at each of these. Defining the problem. Very simply here, you're looking at something that is on the pulse of the nation, is on the minds of the people, something that's worrisome, something that you're concerned about. So again, let's take a we've heard a lot of talk about global warming, right? So everyone is concerned about global warming, and that could be a problem that one may choose to research. Having said that, if you decide to research on global warming, one of the first things you're going to need to do is to look at the literature out there that addresses global warming. In doing a review, you want to ask yourself, what is the history of this problem? What is the nature of it? Who is affected by it? What are some of the laws that govern this problem? When did these laws came about? What necessitated these laws? And as you answer these questions, your lit review now will allow you to be more edified on the problem itself. So having this knowledge, you're now armed with the opportunity to create a hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? A hypothesis is very simply an educated guess. An educated guess can be in the form of a question or a statement. So again, using the topic of global warming, your question could be, is there really such a thing as global warming? Or it could be a statement, global warming is real, right? And so you have your hypothesis. Now, having had your hypothesis, you now need to create a research design. What is your research design? I want you to think of your research design like a map. So you want to get from Brooklyn to Queens, and in order to get from Brooklyn to Queens, you get a map. And a map tells you the roads that you need to take, the turns that you need to make, whether you need to make a left turn or a right turn, and basically it guides you to where you need to go. And that is the purpose of the research design, to guide you through your research. So the reality is, once you have identified your research design, you're good to go on your research. So what are some of the things that your research design informs you of? It tells you what kind of research you're going to be doing. It tells you the method that you're going to use to analyze your data once you've gotten all your data. It tells you how you're going to choose your sample, where you're going to get your sample from, if you're going to use sampling at all. And so these are questions that are answered in your research design. Then you simply collect your data. However your research design informs you that you will collect your data, you go about, you collect your data. Having collected your data, now you have your data. So what do you do with it? You analyze it. How do you analyze the data? You use either qualitative or quantitative analysis to analyze your data. So, what determines what type of analysis you use? Very simple. If you're dealing with exact figures, for example, you interviewed 100 people. Of the 100 people you interviewed, 70 were males and 30 were females. So now you have numbers that you're working with. So 70% of your population was males and 30% were females. So now you can use quantitative data to analyze your results. On the other hand, you may have asked a question such as, how do you feel about global warming? Here, you're not going to be able to quantify the results because people are different. So people are going to give you different responses. So then how do you deal with that? Very simple. You provide summaries. So your analysis is going to be in summary form, such as most people felt, some people felt, others felt, right? And this is called qualitative analysis. Having analyzed your data, now you have a conclusion. Now, for me, a conclusion doesn't make sense if it doesn't have recommendations going along with it. So, whereas your conclusion will give a brief summary of your research, meaning an overview from start to finish, you need recommendations so that you could say, okay, having studied this and found this, this is what I recommend. All right, and that takes care of your research process. Now, there are different types of research. Research includes surveys, interviews, experiments, or scientific research, ethnographic research, and historical research. For ethnographic research, the researcher actually immerses him or herself in the population of study, and that can be a good thing, but it can also be negative. How can it be a good thing? It means that you're getting first-hand information in a manner that you would not be able to get. How can it be a negative thing? If your respondents know that you're doing research, they may give you information that they think you want to know, thus skewing your research. Or you could be in a dangerous situation where it could actually be to your detriment to be doing that research. For example, you want to study drug dealers and you pretend to be a drug dealer and they find out that you're not a drug dealer. What do you think is going to happen to you? Not a pretty situation, right? And that's it on research. Thank you and have a wonderful